Namaste everybody. In my previous video, I explained some of the paragraphs of the story Iswaran the Storyteller written by R.K. Lakshman. So, first of all, let us recap the main points of the story, then we will proceed to the next paragraph. As you have seen in this story that Mahendra was a junior supervisor in a firm. The firm offered on hire supervisors at construction sites, factories, bridges, dams, etc. Mahendra's job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site. He had to go from one place to another. He was a bachelor. He could adjust himself to all conditions. Mahendra had a cook named Iswaran, and Iswaran had an amazing capacity to tell a story. He could produce vegetables and cooking things from nowhere. He would conjure up the most delicious dishes made with fresh vegetables within an hour or so. Mahendra would go to work early in the morning with some food. After Mahendra's departure, Iswaran would make up the shed. He washed the clothes of Mahendra. He would take a bath, praying. He used to read a Tamil thriller to doze off after lunch. He had a strange method of narrating his stories. His stories had the effect of the thriller and sensation. Ishwaran had a strange way of narrating even the smallest incident. He would wake up in suspense. He would add a surprising end to the story. This was because he was very imaginative. Mahendra would listen to him without complaining. One day, Iswaran told a story of a tusker. One day, the tusker is an elephant. He ran away from the forest. It roamed here and there. It tore up creepers and broke branches. Ishwaran would get so affected with the story that he would jump about here and there. So now let us proceed to the next paragraph. One day a tusker escaped from the timber yard and began to roam about, stamping on bushes, tearing up wild creepers, and breaking branches at will. You know, sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. Ishwaran would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation of the mad elephants. Now, let us see first difficult words of this paragraph. Tusker means an elephant, roam means move here and there, stamping means hitting with force, emulation means effort to match or surpass a person by imitation or copying. Here, the story was narrated by Ishwaran to Mahendra. Ishwaran was telling, one day an elephant ran away from the forest and roamed around the forest. He started moving here and there in the forest. It stepped on the bushes and crushed them, tore the creepers, plants, and broke branches of trees which came in its way. Iswaran asked Mahendra whether he knew how a mad elephant behaved. In order to make his story more effective, more interesting, Ishwaran stood up and jumped around the place, hitting his foot on the ground in order to copy the action of the mad elephant. The elephant reached the outskirts of our town, breaking the fences down like matchsticks. He would continue. It came into the main road and smashed all the stalls selling fruits, mud pots, and clothes. People ran helter skelter in panic. The elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing, breaking through the brick wall. All the boys ran into the classrooms and shut the doors tight. The beast grunted and wandered about, pulling out the football goalpost, tearing down the volleyball net, kicking and flattening the drum kept for water, and uprooting the shrubs. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up to the terrace of the school building. From there, they helplessly watched the depredations of the elephant. There was not a soul below on the ground. The streets were empty as if the inhabitants of the entire town had suddenly disappeared. So, first of all, let us discuss the difficult words of this paragraph. Here, outskirts means outer area, helter skelter means here and there, panic means sudden fear causing unthinkable behavior, grunted means made a loud sound, depredations means attacks which are made to destroy something. So here, as the elephant reached the outer boundary of their town, Ishwaran is narrating the story to Mahendra. It broke the fences. The fences seemed as if they were like matchstick for the huge elephant. The elephant reached the main road and broke all the stalls selling different things like fruits, mud pots, and cloth. The people were taken unaware and so they ran here and there. Then it broke the wall of a school and entered the school ground where the students were playing. All the students ran back into their classroom and closed the doors tightly. The elephant made loud noise and roamed around in the school ground. It broke the goal post in the football ground. It also tore the net that had been put up in the volleyball court, stepped on the water drum and broke it, and tore many plants and shrubs as well. The teachers had climbed onto the roof of the school building and watched helplessly as the elephant destroyed the school property. There was not even a single person to be seen around. All the streets of the town were empty as all the people were scared of the mad elephant. Now let us proceed to the next paragraph. I was studying in the junior class at that time. Here Ishwaran is telling. I was studying in the junior class at that time and was watching the whole drama from the rooftop. I don't know what came over me suddenly. I grabbed a cane from the hands of one of the teachers and ran down the stairs and into the open. The elephant grunted and menacingly swung a branch of a tree which it held in its trunk. It stamped its feet, kicking up a lot of mud and dust. It looked frightening, but I moved slowly towards it. stick in hand. People were watching the scene, hypnotized from the nearby housetops. The elephant looked at me eyed, ready to rush towards me. It lifted its trunk and trumpeted loudly. At that moment, I moved forward and, mustering all my force, whacked its third toenail on the quick. The beast looked stunned for a moment, then it shivered from the head to foot and collapsed. First of all, let us see the difficult words of this paragraph. Hypnotize means to influence, control, or direct completely. Mastering means putting together. Whacked means hit noisily, and collapsed means fell down. So here, Iswaran is telling that at that time of the incident, Ishwaran was studying in one of the junior class in the school. Here Ishwaran was telling the story when he was studying in junior classes in the school. He further said that he was watching the elephant from the rooftop. Suddenly he took the stick from one of the teachers and ran towards the school ground. The elephant made a loud noise when he saw a small boa approaching it. It lifted a branch of a tree in its trunk, hit its foot on the ground, which threw a lot of mud and dust in the air. The elephant was threatening Ishwaran, but the boa was not afraid of. He was not scared. With a stick in his hand, he moved towards the elephant. Slowly, many people had climbed on the rooftop of their houses and were watching the incident. They were standing still and were amazed, waiting to see what happened next. Ishwaran saw that the elephant had red colored eyes which were full of anger. It again lifted its trunk and made a loud trumpet sound. Trumpet, it means the sound that is produced by elephant. As it was about to attack Iswaran, just then Iswaran gathered all his force, all his power, and hit the elephant's third toenail. Quickly, the elephant was stunned at what had happened. Then it reacted by shivering all over, fainted, and fell on the ground unconscious. When Ishwaran hit on the toenail of that mad elephant, the elephant fainted and fell down on the ground and became unconscious. Now let us proceed to the next paragraph. At this point, Iswaran would leave the story unfinished and get up mumbling, I will be back after lighting the gas and warming up the dinner. Mahendra, who had been listening with rapt attention, would be left hanging when he returned. Ishwaran would not pick up the thread of the story right away. Mahendra would have to remind him that the conclusion was pending. Well, a veterinary doctor was summoned to revive the animals. Iswaran would shrug casually. 2 days later, it was led away by its Mahat to the jungle. Here, let us say the difficult words first. Rapt attention means completely fascinated. Pick up the thread of the story means would not restart the story from where he left. Veterinary doctor means a doctor uh, who treats the animals. Someone means called. Shrug means to raise one's shoulders slightly. So here, after this, Ishwaran would leave the story incomplete. In a low voice, he would say that he would return after lighting the gas stove to warm the dinner as they were getting late for the meal. Mahendra would be curious to know what happened next and would feel disappointed that Iswaran had left the story unfinished. On returning, he would not continue with the story as he wanted to arouse curiosity in Mahendra. Mahendra, who would be eager to know the ending, would ask Iswaran to conclude the story. Ishwaran would just say casually that a veterinary doctor was called to bring the elephant back to consciousness, and after 2 days, the Mahat would take the elephant back to the jungle. So, today I have discussed some of the paragraph, and I will explain the next paragraph in the next class. So, thank you.